Good morning. I'm Pastor Mike Estep, and I have two questions for you. First question is, what am I doing here? And the second question is this: have you ever had a moment of clarity? Well, what am I doing here? Frankly, I'm a little surprised. I'm surprised because from my perspective, this is a cool town, and this is a very cool church, and I'm a little surprised to be in such a cool place. And I'm also a bit surprised that I'm here because just a few months ago, I was having my yearly interview with my bishop. And at the end of that conversation, we had come to the conclusion that I would spend another year as superintendent of the Potomac Highlands District. One more year. I'd come through some hard things. I had some momentum going. Maybe one more, maybe 2 more years. But Pastor Tim felt led by the Spirit to seek another pastoral appointment. And the bishop was praying about Suncrest, and she couldn't sleep. And as she prayed about Suncrest, my face kept coming to her mind. So why? Why was it my face that kept coming to her mind while she prayed? Well, one reason is that I've got some clarity. That's one reason. I have got some clarity. In the passage of Scripture that was just read for you from John's Gospel, there is initially no clarity. Everything's muddy and confusing. As we read it, we're confused because Jesus is in a place where he's not supposed to be. He's in Samaria. And as a Jewish man, he's having a conversation that he should not be having with a Samaritan woman. And he is even asking her for a drink, and all of this is out of bounds. But I want you to notice something particular about this conversation. It's out of bounds, and so Jesus tries to set things a little right, and he asks, why don't you go get your husband and bring him back, and we'll continue the conversation. Make it more culturally, religiously proper. She says, I'm currently unattached, Mr. Jesus. Oh yeah, I'm aware of that. You've been married 5 times, and the person you're with now is not your husband. Yeah, I'm aware. Now, what I would expect next in this story is I would expect some good old religious shaming to happen. I could imagine Jesus saying that and then reaching for his keys and his cell phone and saying to her in not so many words, well, bless your heart. You are flawed and religiously unclean. You are ignorant of all the right things and spiritually inept. And listen, honey, I am so sorry that you are unloved and unwanted, but I need to be in Galilee at 5 o'clock, so have a good day. But instead of the religious shaming, Jesus just speaks the simple facts about her life, about her faith, and about her culture, revealing that he knows her. And then he moves rather quickly to a conversation where he invites her to believe that everyone, that anyone is invited to the humble of worship of God with one another. She is so overwhelmed. She is so amazed that she leaves her water pot at the well and she runs toward the people that she has been running from. And she says to them, "Come and meet somebody, a stranger that I've met. He's told me everything about myself. Could he be the one that we have been waiting for?" To be known and not shamed, but loved and invited into a new thing that God is doing is a transforming experience. Such an experience can provide a clarity for your life. So I have another question for you. Deep down in your most secret place, do you speak to yourself about yourself? And do you use some shaming words? Do you use words like defective or dirty or useless or unwanted, awful, insignificant, worthless? Do you ever use those words about yourself? Could I invite you right now in this place to use some holy imagination? In that secret place, would you let Jesus speak to you? Even if he is a stranger to you, would you hear him say, "You are known, you are loved, you are invited"? That brings clarity and is transforming. I believe that because back when I was a teenager, I was in trouble. I was in so much trouble that my mom invited me to leave the house and go live with my brother one summer in Colorado. My brother Frank was a coal miner, and he moved to Colorado to mine coal, got laid off, became a youth pastor. So my mom sent me to Colorado to my brother so he could straighten me out. He had a wonderful youth group. And when I got there, they welcomed me as if I had always been with them. And there was another group in his church that welcomed me so warmly as well. It was a bunch of old hippies. So one evening, the youth group and the old hippies and a bunch of other folks are in a rather spiritual meeting. And I, the troubled kid, felt like I needed to try praying. So I found myself standing in front of an altar, trying to figure out what prayer was, what I should say. And as I was standing there, on my shoulders and on my head, I felt youth group hands and old hippie hands. And while I was trying to pray, they whispered prayers for me. And I was not shamed. And I was given an abiding clarity about my life. And I'm still figuring that out. And that's what I'm doing here at Suncrest. I've got some clarity, enough clarity to invite you to listen to Jesus saying, "You are known, you are loved, you are invited into the new thing that God is doing.